Let's get into one more film here with Austin, and that is Decision to Leave, about a detective who
Ooh.
investigates a suspicious death and soon begins to question the man's wife, but can't help forming an attraction to his new suspect. I feel like that premise, which sounds somewhat cliched and unoriginal, doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of what Chan-wook Park is bringing to the table in this film, which is so much more idiosyncratic and tonally bizarre than any plot description could encompass. Austin, what did you get from the mishmash of vibes in Decision to Leave?
This is one of those movies that you expect 10, 15 years down the road to be played in film classes. But we're just
Mm-hmm.
talking about the technical elements right now. There
Mm-hmm.
are some of the best looking edits, transitions, scene to scene, cinematography, changing locations without actually changing location. I mean, and he's done this numerous times in his movies. It's technical mastery what he's able to do here, but on a technical level, I think Decision to Leave is one of the most incredible movies I've seen, not only this year, but in the last couple of years. It's beautiful, beautiful to look at. But then you look
Mm-hmm.
at, from an emotional standpoint, it's the connection between our two main characters here and how you start out as this detective crime thriller and we're going to piece together. But no, it actually, it turns into something a bit different. And there's this chemistry that builds between these two actors that I expected it to be there, but I didn't expect it to hit like it did. And then I didn't expect the story to change and shift and almost become self-aware of itself as we get into the third act, because things continue to happen that are almost funny and
Mm-hmm.
comical, but because it's like, oh my God, this is happening, but it's happening in a way that still feels real. But then it can shift. I mean, at the immediately from something that you're kind of quirky, it's kind of funny, you're laughing, to devastated, just emotional, and it's beautiful the way that it plays out. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's his best script ever
Right.
that he's worked with.
Tough
There
competition.
are it really is like I always say when I have kids, I'm not going to tell you which kid I love the best. I'm just going to say I love all the kids. With his filmography, it's hard to choose which kid do I love the best. I don't know at this point. All I know is that each one has something beautiful about it. And with Decision to Leave, I do think the technical achievement is a bit better than the script itself, just because
Mm-hmm.
it does go in a lot of different directions, but it comes together, man. It comes together beautifully. And I thought the performances were outstanding. And the way that it progresses, I could get behind some people saying it's a little bit overlong. I mentioned Bones and all kind of
Yeah.
meandering a bit towards the end. There was a moment there in the third act where I was kind of a little confused trying to bring it together. But once I did, and once we get that ending and the way it leaves us off, I was swept away with this movie. I was very invested and I loved it. I thought this was a beautiful experience in the cinema.
Yeah, it is a really stunning achievement. And I think I feel a little bit similarly to how I felt about White Noise, in that like I don't know if I'm fully prepared to like discuss this one even after only one watch, because it is so much happening, and the way that it'll shift around. I agree with you, Austin, that like also the sense of humor that it carries throughout is really like fun and refreshing and unexpected,
Yeah.
particularly given like some of the like testier and darker places that the story wants to go. But it's just so captivating. You are constantly kind of like questioning what the next move is going to be, and
Mm.
to sort of keep you kind of guessing in that way is such an achievement, because it's not just guessing what's the next plot detail that's going to happen. It's like, what is the next scene going to even feel like? Is it going to suddenly turn from like this dark thriller into a romantic comedy? And just that balance is something that I feel like in the hands of somebody lesser could feel like schizophrenic and crazy and not cohesive, but it still somehow feels like one movie here. And that's the thing that I really took away with and was impressed by. I don't know. There's quite a lot to like here. I don't know if it's necessarily on the top level of Chan-wook Park movies for me, but that's, as we were alluding to, like, is a pretty high level. I did like this a lot though, and I'm eager to revisit it so I can feel like I've wrapped my arms around it, you know?
Beautiful. Oh, son Zach, I've yet to see it yet, but I have a
Oh.
spot right at the top reserved for it to be my best of New York and my best of Chicago. And Mubi just sent us the link, so they sent it to us, but I just bought tickets because I've been waiting long enough to just go see it at the Gene Siskel. So now I actually have an HD link sitting, but should I just wait to go see it in the theater?
no.
So
Yeah.
I don't know when
Man.
it comes out on Mubi, but I know that that's probably going to be the biggest
Yeah.
way for people to catch it because like Chicago's barely getting it, very limited. So I can just imagine for a lot of other people who won't have the reach for it, but this seems like it's going to be one that's going to carry all the way till next year. So
Yeah. And it might be the biggest movie that Mubi has ever acquired, so that's cool.
Easily. That's
we
why I
like
was
Mubi a
surprised.
lot.
Yeah, they left us on red for like a couple of weeks, and they barely got back today. I was like, okay, I guess I did reserve a New York spot for this movie.
Well, I got nervous when I heard Mubi because this is one you expect to have a big Oscar chance at the end of the year, and then I heard
Yeah.
Mubi, and I'm like, does that decrease its chances? But I saw the film, and the answer is no.
No.
So it's going to be the biggest Mubi movie. That's how they should market it.
For
Biggest
sure.
Mubi movie,
Nice.
of all time. It's that good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully they can put like all their energy behind it, right?
Yeah. Don't start doing these other studio Bleecker studios.
Yeah.
Everything you have, take all that Mubi money,
All the
and
chips.
put it behind Decision to Leave. That's what they need to do.
Absolutely.